This is where I want to put my next overhead cabinet. Once you kind of figure out how far out you want the shelf to be, or the cabinet, the overhead cabinet to be, and then how long, so I'm going to kind of run it maybe where the edge of the sink might be, up to approximately maybe 34 inches. Because I want to leave a space in here to potentially mount a speaker. At least that's the plan. So the next thing you got to do is make sure you scribe out an end piece for your overhead cabinet. Because it's going to sit in here like, well, maybe about here, you have to scribe a piece of cardboard that fits snug up against the roof and snug up against the angled board of the ceiling. And because this board is slanting down and this one is slanting, these are two different angles. What you really need to make sure that when you get this done is that this bottom piece comes straight out as level as you can get it and straight up. So this is going to be a 90-degree angle. These other angles at the top and the side are going to be ever what fits the van, and try to get it snugged up as tight as possible. You have to do a separate piece for here because you've got a lot more things to deal with on this end. So once you get your two end pieces scribed out, then you can cut those out of 3/4 inch plywood and then attach them to the base. So now you got a base and you got the two sides, and then you just put a couple of supporting structures on the top. So once I have my kind of shelf board cut, and I know how big that's going to be, I'm going to mount that board onto a 2x3 and then eventually attach the 2x3 to the structure. Like, I would have a 2x3 physically bolted onto this metal frame, and then attached to the bottom I would have my overhead cabinet base, and it'll look like this. But I don't need that 2x3 to be quite that wide, so once I cut the 2x3 to the length of the shelf overhead cabinet I'm going to build, I'll take it to the circular saw and I'll just shave off maybe a 1/2 inch off of this 2x3, and that'll give me a very flat, straight surface. So when I attach the 2x3 to the overhead cabinet bottom or base, it'll be a nice, smooth, tight fit. So I've gone ahead and done all that. I've got all that done. And there it is. That's what it's going to look like attached to the van. And then, of course, it's going to have a face spring put on it afterwards, but this is the overhead cabinet box. So let's see if we can get that attached. And I'll show you how to do that with very little help. Actually, no help at all. So here's a couple bolts, and they fit into that groove. Not too bad. And I've drilled this out to match the bolt spacing, so this cabinet's going to line up. So here we go. You can see it's not that easy. I've lost the bolt already. It's gone down into my channel. Here. Oh, there it is. Found it. Maybe a stool will help. Oh, that's even worse. That's even worse. What can I do to get this to mount easily? That's close. Whoa. Where do you think the nuts went? Okay. This is where my board is going to come in handy. Okay. Let's hope that holds while I rescue a couple. That might fit on.